Hi BookTube, welcome to Jackie's Literary Corner. I am Jackie, and I'm going to talk about the first books I bought for the month of April. So, I actually went to the Roast Office Bookshop yesterday, and then I decided to go with my mom to run errands, and then she offered to drop me off at Books A Million. So I got 2 books at Books A Million since it's the start of the month, so I'm back to having $75 to spend. So let's talk about the 4 books I bought in the last 2 days. Okay, so first, the one I probably know, well, let's first talk about this one since this is the one I can probably talk about the most easily. And that is the second book, okay, good. The second book in the Powder Mage trilogy by Brian McClellan. This is the Crimson Campaign. So I have been meaning to buy the second book, but last time I went to BAM, I was trying to buy just one book. So, and my big conflict with that is it's like, do I buy a new one or a book from a series that I've been reading that I wanted to get the next book? So that first time I bought just a new one, which is the Grace of Kings by Ken Liu, because I had heard about that and how great that was. So I bought that one. And then this time, because I was back to the beginning of the month, I decided to get 2 books. And I got the second one in this trilogy. So this is basically kind of inspired, I believe it's inspired by the French Revolution, where a group, the Powder Mages, who are like the peasants and the middle class people, the lower class, they have rebelled and won and beat their government, and now they're trying to hold on to it, led by where is it? If it's his name? Where's his name? It doesn't say his name, but I think it's Thomas and his son, Tennille. And they're trying to keep everything together and make sure no one takes their freedom from them. So, and then, and they have a type magic, which is powder magic, where basically they inhale powder and that gives them magic powers. That gives them, all these great abilities. And it was a really cool, the first book I had a good time with. It was a really cool story. I like the powder mage, the idea of, inhaling powder from gun smoke to give you abilities and powers. I thought that was cool. And it also was a way to explore addiction and fantasy, because I feel like I don't see that a lot. Like I've only seen it done twice, and that was both in TV shows, not in books. I'm trying to think of, 3 times actually, because they also, it deals with in Rebecca Kwan's series, the Poppy War trilogy. It deals with that as well. It deals with magic, addiction to magic. And the other ones were, on Buffy the Vampire Slayer with Willow's character. She becomes addicted to magic. And then the other TV show was actually a show that I recently attempted to rewatch, because I stopped watching it by season 3 because I couldn't handle it anymore. And I tried to watch it again, and I watched the first few episodes of season 4 of the series, and I just couldn't do it anymore. I didn't want to go down that rabbit hole again, because it just gave me anxiety, it stressed me out, made me really upset, especially because the couple I like is very toxic and messed up. And that actually involves the character that's addicted to magic. And that is Once Upon a Time, where Rumpelstiltskin is addicted to dark magic. And I just not like their approach to it. I don't know if it was just easier because, Willow's character, and it wasn't like I was super attached to her and whoever her love interest would be. I don't know. I don't know why that one was easier than, I don't know, maybe it's because Once Upon a Time is fairy tale characters and it's Beauty and the Beast. But anyway, and I think they could have, that version of magic addiction disappointed me also. Like, I would have loved to them to explore it more, and I also would have loved Rumble and Rumble to have more screen time. But anyway, like I said, this is the second book in the trilogy. And I can't wait to see what happens. I also really like how one of the main characters is an adult, is someone like my brother-in-law's age, maybe older than actually probably maybe closer to my dad's age. I like that the main character is the book that I can enjoy. Okay, so I got that one today, and let me go ahead and then the next one I got was actually, I recently was reminded of this, was talked about, recently heard about this. I mean, I've heard about this author before, but, Alan from the Library of Alexander talked about another book by this author, and talking about how much he loved it. He's a big fan of this author. And that's Adrian Cheskowski. I cannot say it. And I believe, I've heard about this from people, like, I think Reagan from Peruse Projects had read this book, and I think it's one of from Emily Fox's channel, it's one of her favorites, I think. I did debate about buying it, but obviously I bought it because I was really interested and I want to get more into sci-fi, so I'm trying sci-fi again. So you guys know I've got Dune. And I need to pick that one back up soon. I might do that tonight or tomorrow, maybe bring it with me tomorrow when I go to work and read a little bit during the 15 minutes of my break. But and so I've heard a lot about this book in the past, and it really sounds like a very interesting concept. It's normally something I would be more interested in watching on TV, but I think I might have more. It might hold my attention more if I physically am reading it instead of just staring at the screen, because with a TV show I can just turn off the TV. I have a weird relationship with books and TV shows and like on-screen stuff, but well, maybe not that way, or maybe there probably are other people who are like this, where there's some things that they prefer to watch, some things they prefer to read, but yeah, the concept is very interesting, like the idea of and once again, humans are being dumb, doing stupid shit, and we end up creating monsters. Although a lot of people say that they like the spiders that are in the story, the genetically enhanced spiders. They really like these. They think they are really cool. So I'm gonna try it and see what happens. Actually, I'm gonna go and read the back. Okay. The last remnants of the human race left a dying Earth, desperate to find a new home. Following their ancestors' star maps, they discovered the greatest treasure of the past age, a world terraformed and prepared for human life. But all is not right in this new Eden. The planet is not waiting for them. Pristine and unoccupied, new masters have turned it from a refuge into a mankind's worst nightmare. Now 2 civilizations are on a collision course and must fight to survive. As the fate of humanity hangs in the balance, who are the true heirs of the new Earth? And I believe this is a trilogy. I'm gonna try it, see what happens. Okay, so that's what I got today at Books Money. Now let's talk about the books I got yesterday at the roast office. So first, I'm gonna talk about a book that is not one of the times where I buy a book that's not normally my thing, but it's short enough that I could potentially still enjoy it and still like it, and if I end up not liking it, it's okay, because it won't take me that long to read. That's what I mean. Like, it's short enough where even if I don't like it, I can read it really quickly. I think. And that is High Rise by J.G. Ballard, and actually, the thing that got me interested in this book is, and I've only seen parts of the movie, I have not watched the whole movie. It is on HBO Max, but I don't know how much longer we'll keep HBO Max. Hope we end up finding a way to keep it, but I know it cost a lot of money to keep it, so, and we're not, you know. But funny enough, what actually got this book on my radar is the star of the movie adaptation, and that is Loki himself, Tom Hiddleston. This is obviously the movie cover adaptation. So I'm one of those many fangirls who is totally into Tom Hiddleston and his acting, and you know, for me, he is just such an amazing actor. He's such great talent, and he's, you know, very attractive. He really gets you to fall in love with the character of Loki, I think. And all of his performances are just so great and so heartfelt. And the dude loves Shakespeare. The dude is a Shakespeare fan, so he's clearly a reader. I don't know what else he's read. I mean, that would see, you know, I don't really care about Reese's book club or Oprah's book club. I believe Sean Astin. Yeah, I think Sean Astin is the book club that's kind of a more along my lines. I don't know. I have to look. I know that the first books he was reading were, of course, Lord of the Rings. But Tom Hiddleston is someone whose books I would like to check out. I'd be curious about what he reads. So he's a celebrity who's a celebrity book that if he had a book club, I would check it out just to see if he reads the kind of books I would enjoy. And I think he did read this one. And obviously, like I said, it's not that long, so even if I end up not liking it, I feel like it wouldn't take me that long to read. But from what I gather, what I know so far is this guy, Tom Hiddleston's character, ends up living in an apartment building that slowly falls apart, and everyone goes crazy and does some crazy shit, and it basically slowly escalates to chaos. And they drag Tom Hiddleston's character along for the ride. And that's all I really know. Like I said, I watched some of the movie, but then I stopped watching it. I need to watch it when I'm a little bit more focused or more interested. So, what I think will help is if I read the book and then I can watch it, which I don't know if I need to read the book sooner rather than later, because like I said, because HBO Max cost a lot of money. And apparently, according to the Times in the London Times, this is Ballard's finest novel, a triumph. But, yep. Oh, and there's a few other actors in here that I like. We have, what is his name from the Hobbit movie? I cannot think of his name. What is his name from the Hobbit movies? And, he also did the Dracula movie. I cannot think of his name. This guy. And then Jeremy Irons. He's the guy. I believe he's the guy who created the High Rise. And I don't know, Elizabeth Moss. From. Am I pointing? Yep. As you can tell, pointing from Margaret Atwood's not the adaptation of her book. Is in it as well. So, like I said, it's not that long. Even if I don't like it, I guess, it won't take me that long to read. Let me go ahead and read the back. Within the walls of an elegant 4-story tower block, the affluent tenants are hell-bent on an orgy of destruction. Cocktail parties degenerate into marauding, attacks on enemy floors, and the once luxurious anemones become an arena for technological mayhem. In this visionary tale from the best-selling author of Crash, Empire of the Sun, Cocaine Knights and Super Canaans, society slips into a violent reverse as the inhabitants of High Rise, driven by primal urges, recreate a world ruled by laws of the jungle. So he was born in 1930, and he died and then he didn't die until 2009. So that's impressive that he's lived. He must have been a very healthy guy, this author. But yeah, so I'm curious to check it out, and hopefully this will get me more into the movie, because I want to try to watch as many of Tom Hiddleston's movies as I can. Okay, so the last book I don't know a lot about. I just like the sound of it on the back, what I read in the back of it. So I'm just gonna read the back to you. A family torn well, the Huguenot Connection trilogy, which is kind of nice. That it's a trilogy in this one book. A family torn apart, a king converting a nation. Will their faith be strong enough to survive the persecution? 3 books of harrowing historical adventure. France, 1685. Wealthy merchants Jacob and Janine Delpech, I'm probably not saying that right, have been expelled from their home and stripped of their fortune. The greatest blow of all is being separated from their children. Louis the 14 soldiers will stop at nothing to convert the country's Huguenots to Catholicism, yet Janine and Jacob hold fast to their faith. Will their convictions come to at too high a price? With their family torn apart, Jacob and Janine travel the globe searching for a safe haven, as Jacob becomes an indentured servant on a Caribbean plantation, and Janine earns a meager living in Switzerland. A sudden disruption in European politics leaves their chance of a bittersweet homecoming more doubtful than ever. Will the Delpech family survive the years of persecution to reunite at last? The Huguenot Connection is an epic historical trilogy. If you like vivid descriptions of the past, seafaring adventures, and heartwarming tales of family loyalty, then you'll love Paul C.R. Monk's emotional saga. So, something that has always been intriguing to me is just I never know like what to buy, and I'm like it's always hard for me to decide what to consider. And then I feel like a book with this length, of course it's 3 books in one, I really have to sit down and read it, like, and take the time to read quite a few pages of it. But it seems I pick bad timing and end up only, getting restless and only getting through a handful of pages, maybe up to 20 or maybe a little bit more, like what happened with this book. Like, I made progress. I got up to page 20, chapter 2, which is on page 22, but that's it. So with these kinds of books, I feel like I need to really start reading it during time when I am motivated to read a good chunk of it. Especially because longer books take a while to get, especially books this size will take a while to really dive deep into the story and really pull you in. It takes patience and just mostly patience, basically, willing to sit down and read a good chunk, not just like maybe 100 pages or more, 100 pages or maybe 200 pages, like 150 pages or to 200 pages for a book this size to really dive deep into it. But like I said, this is a trilogy, all 3 stories in one big volume, so it's Merchants of Virtue, Voyage of Malice, Land of Hope. And I do kind of like seafaring adventures. I just don't sit down and really connect with them. Like, I like the idea of them. Like, I really liked, Pirates of the Caribbean, but that was that was easy to like because it was Disney. It was a high series adventure and comedy. It pulled you in right away, and it wasn't a slow. It was very fast paced. But yeah, that one was easy for me to get pulled. That trilogy was easy for me to get pulled into. So yeah, these are my most recent purchases for the month. If you guys like this video, be sure to give it a thumbs up. Click subscribe if you haven't already. Click the bell notification below if you want to be notified when I post new videos. And I hope you are enjoying your reading. and having a good start of and a good spring so far. And I will talk to you all later.